I have a lot of questions when it comes to artificial intelligence or the use of AI, and you've probably seen a bunch of videos about using AI to write RFPs. But in the public sector, is it ethical? Hello and welcome. My name is Catherine. I've been in public sector procurement for the last 24 plus years. Prior to that, in the private sector. My YouTube channel is called Procurement Guide so that I can guide you through and help train the next generation of procurement professionals. This week, we're talking about the use of AI, and I am no expert by any means. I'm playing with it. I've been playing with it quite a lot, mostly in the capacity of researching things, asking it where to find things and comparing some documents and giving me ideas. Um, so I'm still learning and experimenting with it, and I will probably give updates as I learn more. But I've seen some recent videos about using AI to write your RFPs. And to me, it's very much like when we first started getting into computer programming, garbage in, garbage out. And that's still the way AI works right now. You can't expect it to draft an open, fair, and transparent RFP if you just say, give me an RFP for janitorial services and expect quality back. So in this video, I'm going to go through a couple of things that you need to consider on the use of AI right now in 2024 and some of the regulations and laws and issues from the public sector perspective, because we have some laws and guidelines that will affect our use. So on to the topic at hand. Is it ethical, fair, open, transparent to use AI to draft your RFPs in the public sector? I'll get to legislation and regulations later, but to me, it's very much like copying someone else's RFP. So it's similar to what I was saying with writing RFPs. So again, example I've seen where people have done this, it's very much like garbage in, garbage out if you don't define it enough. So there is one project manager that has two videos, one from February and one more recent, on using AI for writing RFPs. What she's offered is a prompt to help you, which is very lengthy, and it goes through scope and formatting and the AI's role. But then it's at the bottom what it is you're buying. Well, that's not much information for the AI to build you an open, fair, and transparent and detailed RFP based on your requirements. So again, garbage in, garbage out. You need to really define what you require. Otherwise, you're going to get a very vague and general RFP. So without your very clear requirements, what will you get? Like human written RFPs, when they are vague and generic, don't get you the results. You get either a lot of vendor questions, so a ton of amendments to provide the information that the vendors need to respond, or you get responses back that don't really hit your needs because the vendors are throwing everything but the kitchen sink at it, hoping something sticks. So my first question is, if you don't define the requirements sufficiently when you give your prompt to the AI, where is it getting its information? So this leads me to, and I'll give a link and a bit of a clip, the Chartered Institute for Procurement, CIPS, has a few videos on the topic from webinars that they conducted this year. And in one of the videos, the speaker explains that the AI machine learns from the inputs given to it, results that it has access to, and the answers it's told. Large language models, LLMs. And the data that they have is what's been uploaded to it. Now, some of it, which she mentions in the video, big corporations like Microsoft uploaded 20 years of data. When we update or upload information into Chat GPT and the like, it saves that data. So anything you're uploading potentially is being used for others and vice versa. So some of the questions she says you need to consider for the public sector is, will your data be used for others? Will it be used by third parties? Will it be used to train the LLMs? And where is it being stored? So you need to know the data and security risks and align it with your IT policies. I also worry about the generic information, because we have cases where human written RFPs are so vague and they're misinterpreted between the vendor that wins the contract and the buying organization. And there's a rule in law called Contra Proferentum, which generally, when there is two different understandings of the term, the ruling goes against the writer because you're meant to be, what you are writing about. So if it's misinterpreted, you didn't write clearly enough. So this potentially is an issue if you use AI to write your RFPs. Without some human intervention, you need to verify everything is clear and understandable. So this brings me to the government guidelines. There have been some privacy and human rights concerns brought forth by the various agencies in how AI is going to be used with public facing, or just in general, how the information is being used to provide services. So I'm scrolling through some guidelines that Canada and BC have on these are just the initial guidelines. We are not to use in public facing documents initially, but these regulations are going to be changed over time. And so there are security risks with the generative AI. We have to be aware of privacy, data protection, and potential for harmful or biased outputs. And I'll speak to that a little bit. The bias. The challenge is the AI is learning, and if the data used to train the AI is biased, then the AI becomes biased. So the outputs will be biased, and so we have to be careful in how we train the AI that we are not building discrimination into government contracting processes. Then we have the legal issues. The use of AI needs to align with the law and regulations. And then also the AI, at this point, I don't believe it will understand the laws and regulations that affect a procurement. So if you just say, I need to buy XYZ, and there are regulations in your country or province or municipality regarding the use of that service or good, will the AI have that included in your RFP? So in Canada, an RFP is a contract, not like in other countries. Is the AI writing your RFP knowing it's a contract? Whereas if the AI is writing an RFP in the United States, it's considered an advertisement. So there's different laws in different countries, even on the function and use of a request for proposals document. So, of course, worldwide, and this I got from some research that I asked the AI to do for me. Please look for policies and regulations regarding the use of AI in the public sector. And it identified, as well as my looking at the SIPs, countries are looking at building regulations to ensure the data protection. That seems to be the most common theme, is data protection, privacy, compliance, risk management, human rights, and transparency. And that's the big thing for procurement. If you're using AI not only to write your RFP, but to evaluate the RFPs, do you understand how it's doing it? Is it easily explained to the vendors? We offered debriefings to vendors at the unsuccessful vendors at the end of the process. How are you going to be able to explain to them how their proposal was evaluated and what were their strengths and areas for improvement in their proposal? Is it open, fair, and transparent to you? So really learning about all these things, it still needs a human element. We're still training the AI. We can't have it replace the human in some of these processes just due to the nature of it still learning. And in fact, I used AI to help me find websites. Like, please, I had a bunch of different prompts. I also have used AI. I used Perplexity most recently to take a look at 3 RFP templates and tell me, cross-reference where there are similar terms and what terms are in one RFP and not in another. And so it saved me doing a comparison between 3 documents myself manually. And then I went back and verified, are these similar terms? Is this different than that? So it is helping assist me in my work, but I'm not having it draft RFPs. I'm having it do some research, do some background checks, review a lot of information for me, especially when I'm not a technical expert, and then I can prioritize where I'm going to look at the information. So one of the YouTubers I follow, and this is not sponsored, he doesn't even know who I am, Rick Mulruddy. He was a former business consultant, and he's really been going down the use of AI, and he's even created an AI version of his former business consultant self. So I'll link to his video that talks about tools are only as good as your ability to clearly articulate what you're after. So he's even saying prompt engineering isn't necessary anymore, but it really comes down to you clearly articulating what you need. And that goes back to what I was saying before about using AI to write RFPs. You have to really clearly articulate what you need, much the same as what you do for drafting the RFP yourself. So is it saving you any time at this moment in time? So we still need to teach the AI, much like we teach staff about procurement. And as the video by Rick states, a tool is only as good as our ability to articulate exactly what we want and what is our ask. And isn't that what we in procurement always say we need in order to do a successful procurement? So hope this helps. Be cautious using AI in the Canadian public sector for RFPs. Certainly it can help you collate information, find resources, but please, at the moment, do not use it to write your RFPs until legislation and regulations catch up on how we can use it. Understand your data and security policies. Check with your IT folks on the use of AI. And till next week, we'll chat later.